My friends, in the time of Adam and Eve, there was blindness. You see, what do I mean by blindness? Adam and Eve were blind to anything except God, the voice of God, the commandments of God, and the way of God, the ways of God. You see, now some other voice came and told them that there is a freedom outside of God. You see, there is an independence from God. You see, there is another way. See, so he said, you will be as gods if you eat of this fruit, if you eat this and eat that. So this, what they did is they ate of that, and it says their eyes were opened. See, my friends, it says their eyes were opened. So when one set of eyes is open, that means another set is probably closed. See, so now what am I talking about? Their carnal eyes opened and their spiritual eyes shut. You see, my friends, this is the state that many of the Pharisees and people of Jesus' time, the religious people, the people of the synagogue, were in the same state. Their carnal eyes were open and their spiritual eyes were closed. That is why they could not receive Jesus Christ. All the scriptures they quoted was to justify their carnality and their worldliness. Now, what happened then? It's the same thing happening now, probably to a way bigger degree, where just like them, the Pharisees and company, waiting for the Messiah and all these other things, but we are carnal people. We're studying the scriptures, we're trying to figure it all out. You know, we come up with this and that doctrine, this and that tradition, and so on and so forth, and we reject the temple that was resurrected in 3 days. You see, we worship and we build that which will be thrown down. See, as Jesus told his disciples when they were in awe of the synagogue, the temple, in Matthew 24. See, he said, don't see these things, for it shall all be thrown down. Not one stone shall remain standing on another. You see. So, my friends, we are to be blind. You see, it's just that we need to use the right set of eyes. See, in order to use the right set of eyes, our heart needs to be in the right condition. You see, we need to have a relationship with God in order for our eyes to be open. We need to want God in our heart. You see, many people will claim to know Jesus, but what they know is their own idol, their own fabrication, their own conjuring, an image that they have conjured up for themselves. You see, you can never know Jesus with your carnal eyes open. You won't know Jesus with a love for the world in your heart, and the things of the world, and the treasures of the world, and the strength of the world. See, you won't receive Jesus Christ in your heart. You reject him. See, so you need to make sure that the right set of eyes are open. See, your carnal eyes should be closed, your spiritual eyes should be open. Your heart needs to be in the right state, in its relationship with God, the Spirit of God. See, otherwise we will claim to see, but we are supposed to be blind. Well, you see, this is exactly what happened. The Pharisees claimed to see and to hear, you see, but they saw and heard carnality. Those that were blind to carnality and worldliness and the ways of the world are the ones that saw Jesus and understood his divinity, knew who he was. You see, they were given to know. So my friends, these are very important things, and you need to ask yourself, see, how are you trying to know God? Are you trying to know God with carnal eyes open? Because you won't. You will know other things, for sure. There's no question about that. So-and-so's doctrine and this and that. But you won't know Jesus Christ that way. You've got to close the physical eyes. See? How do you do that? You do that in prayer. You do that in seeking God. You do that in meditation. When you're thinking about Jesus, when you're focusing on Him. You see? When you become still and know who's God. That's when you'll understand things. Because understanding comes from the heart. You see? So, what are we doing to close these eyes? Are we even trying? You see, most people are justifying. They actually call that seeing. The majority call having the carnal eyes open seeing. They call it sight. And with this sight, they study the scriptures. You see, with this lens, the lens of carnality, the lens of worldliness, worldly wisdom, they study the scriptures. They don't read the scriptures with their spiritual eyes. Because if they read the scriptures with the Spirit of God, then they will go to Jesus Christ and have a relationship with Him and be led of the Spirit into all truth. You see? So my friends, let's not... The reason why our carnal eyes are opening is because we are eating more and more carnality, more and more forbidden fruit, more and more of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You see, this is what is happening, and it is corrupting people. The only time you can enter into the tree of knowledge of good and evil is under the guidance of the Spirit of God. You see, and then it becomes foolishness to you. It's nothing. Anytime anything exalts itself above Jesus Christ, you need to call it into severe question and remove it. You see? Knowledge, all these things, people have a reputation of, and this reputation is of the world. It's a recognition of the world, accolades. I went to such and such a seminary. I went to such and such a course. I graduated from such and such a theology department. These people have graduated from these places and they don't know anything. They don't know anything. It's all head knowledge. That's all it is. I have been around a lot of these people. They study the scriptures with the same zeal and fervency that the world studies science, and they use the same methods, and they go around postulating, you see, their own theories, hypotheses. You see, this is a one-way ticket to the wrong place. What we have to do, my friends, is spend time with the Spirit of God. It's very, very simple. In order for this to happen, we need to close our carnal eyes. See, we need to stop thinking about the world in our hearts. We need to slow everything down. Shut everything. Go away into the secret place. Go away into a quiet place. Go into the desolation so that you can receive true food and true water that this world cannot give you. That you can receive word that is out of the mouth of God. See, these are the things that transform you, my friend. It says, don't be conformed to the image of this world, but we must be transformed into what Jesus wants us to become. You see, and that only happens when we are receiving from Him His living word, revelations. You see, where we abide in Him and He in us. See, this is what it is, my friends. It's nothing complicated. It's very simple. People complicate matters because they haven't answered the fundamental questions. If I ask somebody who they are, who are you? They give me worldly answers because they have never received the spiritual identity from Jesus yet. You see, they tell me I'm this, I'm from so and so, I'm from here, I'm from there. Yeah, but when you die, what are you going to be? You see, who are you when you die? What have you found that can conquer death? What identity do you have? Who are you? These are fundamental questions. But you see, my friends, people haven't answered them because they see with carnal